3 guards at York County Prison in Pennsylvania are accused of staging inmate fights and forcing prisoners to compete in a series of humiliating tasks that they dubbed the, quote, Retard Olympics. Now, the victims, David Wright and Michael Hicks, alleged in written statements that officers offered them food and coffee in exchange for fighting each other or completing stunts. So here's State Trooper Robert Hicks describing some of the tasks that the men had to complete.
Drink a gallon of milk in an hour, trying to swallow a spoonful of cinnamon, eat fruit with the peels left on, drink water that had pepper foam in it, snort crushed up candy, snort spicy vegetable powder.
Now, according to written statements, the officers also offered the prisoners food in exchange for repeatedly punching them in the legs and arms and spraying pepper foam in their faces. Joining me now is HuffPost reporter David Lohr. David, what more can you tell us about this story? It's really awful.
Yeah, well, apparently the prison officials were investigating incident of vandalism, and it was while they were reviewing the surveillance footage that they allegedly saw one of the guards grab an inmate around the neck and pull him away. So they decided to question that inmate as to why that happened, and that's when he detailed these supposed Retard Olympics.
And so, the guards here, Daniel Graff and Mark Haynes and David Michael Whitcomb, they're facing charges, but what exactly are they being charged with?
They're being charged with official oppression, is what the legal term is for it. They've actually filed a grievance with their union. They're defending themselves, saying they didn't do this. They're claiming the inmates want to file a lawsuit and make some money off of it.
And so, the officers, I mean, as horrible as this all was, too, they were promising these inmates that they would receive, as we mentioned, food, coffee, other things for doing these stunts or for engaging in these fights. Do we know if they even followed through on those?
Well, one of the inmates in his complaint said that he didn't get any of the coffee or food he was promised. The other inmate said he did.
All right. And then, what else do we know about these prisoners?
Well, they have lengthy criminal records, so that's something that's going to come into play when this goes to trial. They're going to have to put the officer's word against the inmate's words. But at the same time, they have that surveillance video, which doesn't bode well at this point.
That's right. And, do we know if there are there any other prisoners that also may have been subject to this kind of abuse?
So far, only 2 have came forward.
All right, David. Well, thanks. I feel like this is one of those things that often comes up, too, when you talk about prison culture in the United States, is that often very much the hardest part of reform comes from inside and from the way that a lot of these guards really do operate.